Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows and waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River and me.
Welcome to the Menopause Monologues New York City and opening night. Thank you so much. Okay, a little bit of business. Please turn off your cell phones or silence them. Even if you think they're, off, just check. The emergency exit is right there where you came in. Please no recording of any kind or photography. There's no intermission, so I hope you drank a lot before you got here. Right after the show, we're going to do a Q&A with an incredible menopause specialist. That's what we do every single time we do a show. We have a Q&A with an incredible doctor. Tonight we have Dr. Sadaf Lodi. That's going to happen right after the show, so please don't miss it. So back in February, we held an open writers workshop right here at here. And some of the monologues that you will see tonight came from that very workshop. So what we do is we bring pieces from other cities along with us, and those are blended with stories from New York City locals. So we're always listening to the women where we go. You will also see seasoned professional actors on the stage. You will also see women who have never ever set foot on stage in their entire lives tonight. All of them are their authentic menopause stories. So thank you so much for being here, and please enjoy the Menopause Monologues.
When you were here before, I couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You flow like a fan in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell love is special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What can I do anyway? I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
You know, a lot of people used to listen to Dr. Ruth, but in secret. They brought their radios into their beds and would go under the covers to listen. It was taboo, very hush up. We had no sex education. It would have really helped. I'm a nurse. I was a great nurse. I married a brilliant doctor. We had 3 great kiddos, and we had a little black dog named Raisin, and lived in a lovely house in the suburbs. It was in my early 50s I started to feel different. Oh, I had no hot flashes or night sweats or any of that, but I did have these huge, dramatic temper tantrums. I would scream, run through the house, slamming doors so hard I broke the frames. I'd fall to the ground crying, stomp my feet, storm out of rooms. This behavior was far outside normal for me. One night at dinner, I took off my belt and I threw it up so hard I put a dent in the ceiling. It was the 90s. It was probably a really big belt. Maybe I had anger inside of me that needed to be expressed. My husband thought he was always right. He was always right, but sometimes I'm right too. Oh, I used to get so angry with him. Maybe it was hormones. Maybe it was low self-esteem. But we ended up going to family counseling. And one day the counselor said to me, "Your husband thinks you might be going through the menopause." Oh, I was insulted and defensive. Oh, my daughter is now 56 years old. I have no idea if she's gone through the menopause. I mean, I never asked. I guess I was so used to just not talking about that stuff. Oh, I guess it's too late to ask her now. I do wish I'd asked my granddaughters, though, about becoming a woman. It seems like that generation talks about this stuff. But it's just not in my comfort zone.
I used to be a regular law-abiding citizen, just like most of you. I worked in advertising. I lived on the Upper East Side. I had nice dinners with my husband and drank Pinot Noir. I did triathlons and took swing dance lessons. But when perimenopause hit, I felt like I was losing my mind, going from doctor to doctor for 5 years, begging for help and getting nowhere. I was desperate and full of rage. I got so pissed off that I decided to start a biker gang for perimenopausal and menopausal women. I call it the Vagilantes. Now, I know a lot of gangs have a special membership tattoo, and if I can trust you, are you guys with me? What happens? Okay, estrogen patch leaves behind. These things are clearly designed by a dude. Anyway, like all gangs, I decided we're gonna need some rules. So the first one is, we don't tolerate bullshit. The second one is, our meetings are at 6 p.m. Well, we're still awake. We're also awake. And the third one is, we always have each other's back. You see a member out there getting gaslit, or ignored, or just sweaty, you step up. These rules are really important because even though menopause may be having a moment, we still have a lot of work to do. As far as initiation goes, I don't really like violence, so I don't know. I figured we just stand in a circle and throw Nature Valley protein bars at each other. Our mission is simple. We must get better menopause care for women. For me, I was pretty sure that I was dying. My heart palpitated so hard, I felt like it was gonna pop right out of my chest. My anxiety was through the roof. 20 years of therapy down the drain. I couldn't sleep. My ears itched. My head was throbbing like I drank a fifth of Jack Daniels. I lost a molar. Do you know how common that is in menopause? I had to get a dental implant. Only they don't tell you until after the fact that they use human cadavers for bone grafts. So yeah, there's a little dead guy who lives inside of my mouth. I guess he's in the gang too. Can you believe that right here in New York City, doctors ignored me or told me to just go to another doctor for more tests? I went to multiple gynecologists, 2 cardiologists, 2 neurologists, several psychiatrists. At least along the way, I finally got diagnosed with ADHD, which explains a lot about me. My own doctor admitted that she had a whopping 2 hours of menopause training. Yeah, that should cover it. I was so exhausted. All I wanted was for someone to listen to me. And right as I was about to lose it, a doctor finally took me seriously. And instead of telling me that hormones would give me cancer, or to just wait to try them, wait for what? She handed me a prescription for HRT and a nutrition plan. And for me, it was incredible. Less pain, less anxiety, more hope. All it took was 5 years of persistence. That's all. So I got my gang tattoo, and now life isn't back to how it used to be, but it's good in a new way. And instead of doing things I'd be sent to prison for, I'm using the gang to help other ladies, like you. There's hope out there for us all. Remember our rules. Your doctor ignores you, don't put up with that. Instead, give them our special hand signal. The Vigilantes are in your corner. Even the little dead guy.
He's a good guy. He's a good, nice, sweet, good father, smart, I love him. But we have an interesting dynamic where when he's angry, I typically freeze and become very measured. So it was during COVID. I'd officially been postmenopausal for more than a year, but the doctors wouldn't give me hormones because I had cysts on my ovaries and they wanted to watch them. Well, eventually a scan showed that one of the masses was divided, and that could be a bad thing. That could be cancer. So I had a surgery scheduled, and they were going to remove both fallopian tubes, at least one ovary, and if all went well, I was going to get the hormones. I was in the final stretch. But at the same time, my parents were calling me all the time and complaining about each other. And our teenagers were asserting themselves to me in cruel ways, because I had the honor of being their most trusted adult. Our neighbors were pissed off because I removed a dying hedge from our yard and their dog got out. And our refrigerator manual was written by a fucking idiot, and it kept beeping even though the door was closed. I can faintly hear it beeping now. My husband's mad at me. I've been overly critical of him. Half of what he's saying is true, but I don't like the way he's saying it, so I'm not going to back down. He's waving his arms around in a show of dominance, and I remain seated with my shoulders narrow and high. The kids clear their plates and instinctively retreat to the safety of the second floor. The dog visibly follows. It's my job as a mother and a woman to be calm, nurturing, a safe place to land, I heard someone once say. But at what cost? To me. And I know that if I speak right now, I won't be well-mannered, so I just breathe in and I breathe out. I try to release the resentment that is now choking me. Oh, no. I can feel a hot flash coming on. And I want to crumple. I look up at the ceiling and I beg it for help. And I feel hot, sweaty tears running into my ears. Something ancient is pulsing in the heels of my feet. And it jerks me upright. I feel every girl I've ever been standing up inside me. Like nesting dolls, they just keep revealing themselves to me as if to say, we're here to stand with you. You want to get loud? Let's get loud! I'm screaming at him. Loud enough for the neighbors to hear and for the kids to leave their spine perch at the top of the stairs and run to their rooms. Now my voice rumbles in my chest like the engine of a muscle car. And I say to him with Gandalf-level intensity, I will no longer be the receptacle for everybody else's shit. Now his flight is frozen. He thinks I'm a monster? What he doesn't realize is if there's a monster in the room, I'm riding it. And I say to him as though commanding a dragon to heel, no more. He thinks I'm falling apart. I'm being rebuilt from the inside out. And the bugged out dark eyes he's staring into are mine, and he can't escape them. Nor does he try to. Because he knows he's my most trusted adult. My outburst was dismissed as rage, but I know it was my reckoning. Puberty was supposed to make me a woman, but I had remained a child until that moment. Menopause made me a woman. And you don't want to fuck with this one.
Imagine a home of our own. A home made of smiles and love, of hope and cheer. A home safe against trouble and loneliness. A sunny, cozy place, all of our own.
I train my eye on a crack in the cement across our patio where I have laid my cheek and flattened my limbs to soak up the cool of the stone.
morning, I was headed out the door to yoga when my partner Will was headed in. I grabbed my keys off the table, he tossed his down, and when he leaned in for a quick kiss, I bit him. Hard. As it was happening, I kind of knew what was going on and I kind of didn't, because this rage had risen up in me. Out of nowhere, based on nothing he had done, and all I wanted to do was destroy everything in my path. He reared back and said, "Ouch, you bit me." I shrugged. I thought, at least I didn't draw blood. Now, I don't know where the person was who would have said, "I'm sorry" in this situation, but she had left the building. We stared at each other, both of us stunned. And then I thought about the time my 2-year-old niece bit her brand new baby brother. She didn't draw blood either, but my sister was mortified, though later learned that it's common for 2-year-olds to bite because they have big emotions that they can't quite articulate yet. I imagine that her big emotion when she bit her brother was, "Who is this new creature in my life? I don't like it." I was biting for the same reason. It's just that the new creature in my life was me, and I didn't like it. I was mad at Will for no reason. I was unfocused at work. I was losing words, like basic vocabulary. Just a few months after this biting incident, I was hiking with some friends, and at the end of the trail, one of them said, "Hey, is anyone hungry? Do you guys want to get something to eat?" I said, No, I'm not hungry. Shit, what's the word? I'm water hungry. I couldn't think of the word thirsty. And not long after that, I missed an important deadline at work. For months, I had tried to hide my lapses in memory and performance, but this oversight resulted in a fine for the firm, and I couldn't hide that. So I told the managing partner about it, who I've worked with for 17 years, and I said, "I feel terrible about this. Let's just take the fine out of my comp." He said, "That's ridiculous. People make mistakes." I said, "I don't." And the tears welled up, and I tried to hold them back because I do not cry at work. But they came tumbling out. And he said, "What's the matter? This isn't that big of a deal." I said, "I don't know." I said, "Something is happening with my brain. I can't remember anything." He said, "I have to write everything down on my calendar now. What about trying that?" I mumbled something about, "Yeah, okay." What I didn't tell him is that it had been on my calendar. It's just that my calendar had become like a suggestion box. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, I should definitely do that. And sometimes I prepare for the meeting, and sometimes I get a pedicure. I was sure I had early onset dementia. So I made an appointment with a neurologist who couldn't see me for 6 months. So I said to Will that night, "In 6 months, I will let you know how much longer we have together." And he was the only person I told this to, because I was so embarrassed by what was happening. Ashamed, really. And I didn't want anyone to know. But then my self-diagnosis started spinning out and magnifying every single little slip up by 1,000. So by the time I met a friend for lunch a couple weeks later, I just blurted out, "I think I have dementia." She said, "Why?" I said, "I fucked up at work. I can't remember anything. I bit Will." She's like, "You bit Will? Did he like it?" I said, "I doubt it." It was during this weird flash of rage. I said, "I don't know what is happening. I've made an appointment with a neurologist." She said, "I think you have an appointment with the wrong kind of doctor. I think you should see your gynecologist." I said, "Gynecologist?" She said, "Yeah, it sounds like menopause." I said, "I'm not in menopause." She said, "Okay, then perimenopause." Peri what? Perimenopause, it's when you have symptoms before menopause. I said, "Well, that feels unfair." But anyway, I am not having symptoms. I don't have hot flashes or night sweats. She said, "There are other symptoms, like brain fog, memory loss, unadulterated rage." I had never heard any of this before. but my gynecologist confirmed it. And she said, look, sometimes when your estrogen falls off a cliff, your brain goes with it. But fortunately, there are things we could do, which I was thrilled to hear. Because for a while there, I thought I was going to have to do this thing that they had taught my 2-year-old niece to do next time she felt like biting somebody, which is to gather up her big emotion, put her hands on her head, wiggle her fingers like little antenna as a way of saying, see me, hear me, help me. I haven't had to resort to that yet, and I haven't bitten Will again. Although on certain days, I'm not sure he's completely out of the woods. But most important, I am no longer Googling early onset dementia at 3 a.m. If any of you are, let's chat. We could even have a drink in the lobby in case you're water hungry.
That my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she told me she throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend.
Girl, I cannot believe I am 44 years old. And I think, right? I'm in the beginning stages of perimenopause, which is quite interesting to me because, as you know, I have stage 4 endometriosis, which basically means every month my body produces a ton of estrogen and my uterine cells decides to take its show on the road and grow in multiple parts of my body. Yay. Which is extremely debilitating, extremely painful, and exhausting. So when things come up, it's a toss-up, it's confusing as to whether these symptoms are from perimenopause or these symptoms are from endometriosis. And on top of all of that, I am still getting my period. So my PMS symptoms are a mixed bag of nuts. I literally have the patience of a matchstick next to a stick of dynamite. My daily life is me asking, is this endo pain? Is this peri pain? Is this endo fog? Is this peri fatigue? Who knows? And being hot and cold simultaneously is like being in the summer and Winter Olympics at the same damn time. Oh, and remember the 2 years they put me on Lupron? The drug that was supposed to stop my period and stop me from producing estrogen? Well, that made my menstrual cycle jump right off of a cliff. That was the training camp. Granted, I only had hot and cold flashes, but baby, that was enough. So why even put me on Lupron when the estrogen provided or produced by endometriosis is not even affected by the drug? You know why? Because guess what? Fuck women's health, that's why. I love my man. He's patient and loving and supportive. But every month, I turn into a Cerberus, and he doesn't know which. He's actually confused, like most men are. He's like, I don't get it. One minute you're hot, and one minute you're cold. And I'm like, if I have to explain this to you every goddamn month, we are gonna live a very unhappy life. So please, take your big ass leg off of me before I chop it off. I'm burning up! Matchstick, dynamite. He's patient and wonderful, but then there's my here today, gone tomorrow sex drive, and I want to have sex now! And of course he's like, I can't right now, and I'm like, so you know how we do. I'm gonna handle this myself. And then one night, he had the audacity. You know, I could hear you the other night, and it made me angry. Well, I said, well, I was having me a good old time. You could have handled it, but you didn't, so he really can't win. God bless him. I've also come to realize we have a generation of parents that either don't speak about endometriosis or menopause, or is complete denial of their existence. So me asking my super Caribbean mother about her experience is wishful thinking, because in her mind, and I quote, perimenopause? to know if you got cold sweats like I did.
Julia Pradami? How do you say her name? Pradami? Pradami? Julia Pradami? Whatever. We're ready for you now.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Julia Prudhomme, and I'm here to read for Crazy Cat Lady. Thank you for having me back. Well, hello there, kitties! Oh, hi, Gumdrop! Hi, Vanessa! White trash, get in here! Don't you know it's 3 in the morning? Don't you know it's 3 in the morning? Oh, menopause, are you fucking serious? Now? I can't focus. Shitty short-term memory. And isn't the temperature in this room just a little bit warm? I mean, would it bother you if could I just open that window? Would I be bothering? Could I open that window just a little bit? That window right up there. Hey, I'll be right back. It'll just take us. I won't. Don't worry. It'll just. Help me, get this fucking window open! My inner thermostat is thoroughly malfunctioning, and the heat and the sweat have kicked into high gear. There's a mirror in this office. Rosacea circles have exploded on my cheeks like dark red shiny tomatoes. The rest of my face is white as a sheet, almost gray, and I'm streaming with sweat. I don't mean that I'm glowing. Dewy, moist. I mean, Niagara Falls. I look like a shower in human form. It's sticking in my eyes. God, this whole thing is a betrayal. I can't act cool. I can't act relaxed. This is happening. Am I really, really here?
Okay. Could you try that again?
Yes. Well, hello there, kitties. Hi, Gumdrop. Oh, hi, Vanessa. Dry vagina. I'm sure you want to hear about this. Imagine the most tender, delicate, highly sensitive spot on your skin, and suddenly it's hard grit sandpaper, peppered with little flecks of burning acid and shards of glass. And it's also where you pee, which hurts every single time.
Hold one sec, Julie. Give me the chicken salad. Hold it. And I don't care if it costs extra. Oh, sorry. Taking lunch orders?
It's fine. Most of us get a random assortment of symptoms, a variety pack, if you will. What's in my personalized menopause swag bag? Woo! Anxiety! That is not fun. Also not fun for the people in my life who wonder, why have you gone completely crazy, raving mad? Or, when will the you that I know come back? Oh, look! There's depression. Waves of deep, intense sorrow and hopelessness out of nowhere. Whoosh! Suddenly it's there. right. It does. Who the fuck is that? When what I look like affects my career and my perceived worth, it's scary. And on top of this delightful carnival rider shit, I was diagnosed with DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ, May of 2023. Over 80% of women diagnosed with this are postmenopausal. It's an early, non-invasive form of breast cancer. Some doctors consider it not cancer, but if you ignore it, if left untreated, it can change and become bad, scary, invasive cancer. So what do I do? Duke University came up with the most comprehensive study to date on treatment options for DCIS. Its results indicate that active monitoring could replace surgeries, mastectomies, radiation, and chemo. And this came out in December 2024. By then, my breast had been reduced, reconstructed, and radiated. They took so much out. They had to do a lot of rearranging to balance out my rack. And now my smaller set sits high, just above my distended, bloated, postmenopausal Buddha belly. The entire shape of my body has been turned upside down. I don't know how to dress anymore.
Okay, well, thank you.
I'm doing this show, maybe, to learn how to love my new physical self, which is still my old physical self, but also no, not at all! And I am here, as I am now. And whether I'm invisible to them, or to you, I am here.
Oh, John. Oh, Superman. Go, John.
Da trota que
stories of where I've been, and now I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you. I climbed across the mountain tops, swam all across the ocean blue. I crossed over land and road, and baby I wrote them all for you. Oh, because even when I was flat broke, you made me feel like a million bucks. You do. I was made for you. You see the smile that's on my mouth. It's hiding the words that don't come out. All of my friends who think that I'm blessed, they don't know my head is a mess. No, they don't know who I really am, and they don't know what I've been through like you do. And I was made for you. All of these lines across my face, telling my story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been, and now I got to where I am. Oh, but these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them it's true. I was made for you. Oh yeah, it's true, and that I was made for you.
The men in my family said she was crazy, that she had lost her mind. They thought it must have been the war that pushed her over the edge, or maybe she was a lesbian trapped in a marriage with an overbearing man. My grandmother was too smart to be a housewife, they claimed, so that must be why she fled into the night naked, pulling at her cascading hair. And though they may be right, here, on a winter's evening, when peeling off layer after layer isn't enough to cool the heat that is climbing up my chest, neck,
irritability, trouble sleeping, and something that was entirely new for me. Periods of overwhelming, deep sadness and depression. It was like I went over a sinkhole and fell right in. Well, now my husband is 9 years younger than me. I wasn't going to tell him about what was going on, that I thought I was having menopause, because I was embarrassed. I had so much shame. Now, at this point, I'd climbed high up the corporate ladder. And at meetings, I'd have hot flashes and secretly wipe the sweat off my face. You don't talk about women's stuff in the office or about getting older. Both signs of weakness. So now my mother had very difficult periods, and when she reached middle age, she had horrible, dangerously extreme bleeding. Now, she never talked about it, but one day she picked us all up from school, and we all got out of the car, and we saw she'd left a huge puddle of blood right there in the front seat. She never mentioned menopause. Well, I am so glad that we are doing this show. It is important. Maybe it'll get y'all talking about it. If I could go back and give some advice to my younger self, it would be this. Share what you are going through with your spouse and your girlfriends. Sharing is the perfect medicine for women.
We just had a winter storm here where we were snowed in. It's all anyone could talk about. But I think it's pointless to complain about the weather. I just say, I'm wintering. During this terrible storm, our washer broke. Water spilled everywhere. See, the laundry room is where I go. It might sound strange, but it's my refuge. It's my special space that is mine alone. I go in there, I close the door behind me, I light incense, and maybe I stare out the window and kind of meditate to the swishing and the cycling of the washer. So when the washer broke, when I was wintering, I felt stuck. At that moment, I thought, well, the washer is just like me. She's stuck and she's making a mess. When I started going through the change, I started to look back on my life. I mean, we all do, right? I started thinking about the things that didn't happen. I thought about the times I considered having kids, but I was just like, I wouldn't be a good mother. Every woman, I think, when they reach a certain age, they don't have kids, I don't have kids, people say, why don't you have any children? But some people have miscarriages. Some people don't want children. So lost babies, in certain ways, are always with us. This is very heavy for me because I needed to heal myself. At first, I was afraid to talk about it. I didn't talk about it. But lately, I've been thinking about the shared experiences of women as we move through all these different changes in our lives and how we don't get to vocalize them. Because, well, so many reasons. Along with the contemplation of my past came other undeniable physical symptoms of perimenopause. The more things popped up, more changes, I decided I'm surrendering. I'm working on surrendering. So I started putting posters up every time something changed. I keep them within reach in every room. They're all affirmations. This is a mood. I'm healed. I'm healthy. I am vibrant. I am surrendering to the present moment. This one just says, I am magic. The more I surrender, embrace it, and the not caring that comes with menopause helps with this actually, the easier it becomes. Now, if any little symptom pops up, I just say, okay, hormones, what do you have for me today? So, maybe I'm not stuck like my washer. Maybe that's why I'm here, in front of you all. I'm overflowing, and it's time for me to let it all out.
So, I would like to talk about the part of menopause that no one ever talks about. It's the sex. We have this chart up here in case you're unfamiliar. I myself was pretty unfamiliar with sex for quite some time. See, I grew up a really, really good Catholic girl. For those of you who grew up in a sex-positive home, what's that like? I wouldn't know, but what I can tell you is that emerging into sex positivity for the first time in middle age is bonkers. Like being 40 years old and lying in the arms of a handsome young New York City firefighter, just chuckling to myself, remembering that just a year before I was tied to someone who had no interest in having sex with me. That's right. I spent my 20s and 30s in a nearly sexless marriage. And for the record, this was his choice, not mine. I got divorced and went through menopause at pretty much the same time. And I had a moment where I thought, oh shit, what if I missed it? I kept thinking and hearing that you lose your sex drive in menopause. And I thought, oh my God, did I waste my entire sexual lifetime with this person who didn't want to have sex? Well, I am happy to report that I did not miss that window. These days, my sex drive is crazy. I'm not even kidding. I feel like a frickin' teenager. For me, menopause has sort of been like another puberty. New hormones are surging through me in a way that I did not expect. And I am not an awkward teenager like I was during puberty. I am a middle-aged woman who knows herself and her body and her boundaries. And there is another aspect to my story. When I was 38, just after my husband and I separated, I was diagnosed with B-cell lymphoma, which is a form of blood cancer. It's not always a side effect, but chemotherapy can trigger early menopause. I was so focused on getting through the treatment and getting healthy that I didn't even realize I was going through menopause until it was over. I've been in remission for 3 years now. And I am just starting to process the fact that in terms of menopause, I'm done. I couldn't have any more babies even if I wanted to. and my 6-year-old son really wants me to. And I feel deeply sad about this because I kind of want to too. But I can't let myself go there, and I have to focus on the good things instead. Like the sex. So I had my last period at 38, and then I emerged from treatment a fully postmenopausal, divorced, and wildly horny, single, middle-aged woman. And the good news is that there are a lot of people that are super into that. I always wanted to be a cougar, and now here I am. And I'm happy to report that there are so many kind, wonderful, interesting people out here in New York City. The people that I've been dating, and the other single moms that I've met along the way. And I've even dated some of those single moms. And as sad as I am about not being able to have another baby, there is something extremely liberating about having sex and knowing I have absolutely no chance of getting pregnant. For me, sex exists now solely for the purpose of pleasure. And how amazing is it for us as women to have something that is just about pleasure? Mm-hmm. We don't get that very often. So let's take a moment for that. And a moment for all of the kind, wonderful, and talented lovers out here in New York City. Some of them might be in the house tonight. So if this is you and you'd like to connect, I am on Hinge. I am on Field. There I am. I'm on Tinder, and I'm also just very chatty and friendly in person. So if you'd like to talk more, please come and find me after the show.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Hello, Coochie Campers! It's me, your favorite camp counselor, Rainbow High. Because when I say rainbow, you say hi. Rainbow High! Rainbow High! Oh my gosh, so good! I just want to welcome you to the Camp Coochie Campfire songs. Because whether you have a ding or a dong, you all can sing along. Tonight we're going to start with a Camp Coochie favorite. Are you ready? Yeah! Yes, you are! When a young girl comes of age, that girl begins the first stage. By that I mean she starts to flow, the menstrual cycle is a go. The blood streams out each 30 days, it drips or drops or gushing waves. With floods and pads we soak it up, some even use a menstrual cup. Menstruate, girls, menstruate. You're a woman now, girl, ain't it great? Oh, sure it hurts, cramps are a pain, but suck it up, girl, don't complain. The next stage really, really rocks. You're licking clit, you're taking cock, you're fucking, sucking, getting laid. life, girl, don't you bitch. Girl, you may be filled with dread, but menopause don't mean you're dead. Rebel against with teeth and claws and say, fuck you to menopause. And say, fuck you to menopause. Everybody say, fuck you to menopause. Yeah, fuck you. Oh no. No. You're not gonna hear my rendition of In the Heights. No. That was the sound of my mother's soul when she was smack in the middle of her decade-long battle with menopause. Not like she'd ever admit to it. Menopausia. Es un invento de las mujeres ricas que se quejan de todo. That's what my mom would say. Menopause? That's an invention rich women created who like to complain. Basically, it's a privilege to have menopause. Well, that privilege, it's not pretty. As a little girl, I distinctly remember going into the kitchen saying, Mommy, tengo hambre, what's for dinner? And out of nowhere, this volcano would erupt and yell, No me jodes! Tienes hambre! Alza la pata y lame! What does that even mean? If I'm hungry, pick up my foot and lick it? Has she lost her mind? Will this happen to me? No! I'm not even there yet. Like, I don't know why I'm up here. I'm only 45. And this is my natural hair color. Oh yeah, I've never dyed my hair. And sure, there's a few grays, but that's because I'm getting older. That has nothing to do with menopause, so no. But I do think I need to change my shampoo and conditioner because my ends are looking really dry. Like, why do they keep changing the formula on us? Like, we're not gonna notice, okay? So if you have a recommendation on a good conditioner, let me know, because it's super dry. It keeps falling out. I mean, in clumps. It's getting to the point where I dread washing my hair because I know the second I turn off the faucet, I'm gonna clean out the drain. It's almost as if, after all of those decades of plucking, bleaching, shaving, waxing, threading, lasering every inch of my body from my eyebrows, lips, face, arms, hands, armpits, vagina, feet, legs, feet, and toes, my hair is like, I get it. I hear you. I am weighing you down. I have caused you enough pain and money. I'm out! Oh, but there is an upside. Look, I no longer have a unibrow. No, like, check it out. I don't even have to plug my eyebrows anymore. Do you know how bad this used to be? I was free to Calo for Halloween in middle school 3 years ago. No makeup needed. Now, there is nothing there. Or at least I can't see it. Oh my God, that reminds me of my abuela, que descanse en paz. Oh, I can picture her now. It's Saturday night, and she's walking over to me, clutching her tweezer and rubbing my hand on her chin, saying, Niña, ven aquí un favor y sácame este pelo. Look, you feel that? Just like, yank it, pull it out. Because there is no way she was going to church on Sunday with her whiskers. And I would just look at her and be like, but abuela, tú no puedes. You can't do it. She'd be like, es que no lo puedo ver, niña. Actually, 10 years later, my mom asked for the same favor. But I don't have that problem. Like, I just need reading glasses, and that's because I'm getting old. Yeah, like, my period is regular, so I'm good. Look, I don't have menopause. I don't have hot flashes. My body is running just the way it always has. It's just a little plumper in some areas. You know, these hips don't lie. Okay, look, I'm just not as active as I used to be. I was an athlete. I was thin and flexible. I would dance hasta la 15 de la mañana, and now my feet hurt by midnight. Even when I'm wearing flats. But I have, and always will be, in full control of my body. It's just between work and the kids, I don't have the energy to exercise. But when things get back to normal, I'll lose the weight. I have time before I'm actually menopausal, right? And I did ask my mom if she remembers what it was like to deal with the changes in her body, and she just looked at me. ¿Por qué te gusta estresar por cosas que no puedes controlar? Es parte de ser vieja. Why do you like to stress over things you can't control? It's called getting old. And there is no cream or patch or pill that is going to stop that. I guess that's true. But just because abuela survived and mommy survived without any of those things doesn't mean I have to suffer through this. Look, I know my body is changing. I know I will never be the same. But I have a voice. I have information. I have you to help me get through this. And this new me, she is going to use all of this privilege to make sure that she feels damn pretty.
Such feelings come over me. There is wonder in most everything I see.
November 29, 1972. You are 11 years old. You are reading something in the newspaper that could be written about you, but it isn't you. The lady from the advice column insists the girl should tell someone. But then she goes on to state that sometimes girls lie, or get confused, or are seductive little sex pots in competition with their mothers. You know that isn't you. You understand something you can't quite name yet. If you tell, you might not be believed. You cut the column out of the newspaper and fold it into a small square. You hide it under your mattress. It feels important to keep there. Maybe it will hold you up. December 28th, 1972. You start wearing 2 pairs of pajamas to bed. Not for warmth, for time. March 11th, 1973. You begin paying attention to weeks and dates. You are trying to understand the timing. If you can predict what might happen, maybe you can survive it. April 16th, 1973. You calculate. Why is late part of calculate? April 28th, 1973. It still hasn't come. You do the math over and over again in your head. You don't know what you will do if. You consider running away to live with your cousins in Florida. You imagine disappearing. You imagine dying. All of these feel like reasonable plans. May 6th, 1973. You lie and you tell your mother you were assaulted at school. You give her details, a bathroom, a fall, clothing out of place. The story has to be specific so she will believe you. You go and see a doctor. There is a table and the paper beneath you crinkles when you move.
He examines you and it hurts, and he calls your mother back into the room. You are still lying on the back. And he tells her there is scar tissue, but it doesn't make sense. He squints when he talks. This is not from one time. The logistics don't add up. He leans in close to your mother. He whispers, "She must have a boyfriend." He says this while you are in the room, but not to you. You understand then, your body can tell a story you are not allowed to tell. Someone else is telling you what your body means. Before you leave, he tells your mother one more thing. She's not pregnant. June 17th, 1978. You are 16 years old. Now you are choosing the boys to be with. You miss a period again, but this time it's your fault. You and the boyfriend bike to the drugstore a town away and buy a test. It comes in a box with a small glass test tube, a dropper, and instructions about your urine that feel more like a science experiment than an answer. You wake up early before classes and follow each step exactly, carefully, and deliberately, as if precision might change the outcome. Then you hide the test under your bed and race to catch the bus to school. You return home after math class, go straight to your bedroom, close the door, kneel on the floor, and reach under the bed. You recognize the feeling, the combination of waiting and fear, and the sense that your body is about to decide something for you. When you see the result, you exhale. August 8th, 1988. You are 26 years old. You are so sure that it's not possible that you tell the receptionist at your office that if the doctor calls while you're out, he should give her the result. Later, you speak to the receptionist from a payphone to get the message, and she says, "Yes, you actually are," and you drop the receiver as if she told you someone had died. Then you are there again with the crinkly paper beneath you. The doctor tries to comfort you and tells you that it wouldn't have been viable. The heartbeat is too slow. You have no idea what that means, and you are too afraid to ask. October 30th, 1998. You are 37 years old. It is 4 months after your second divorce. You are skinny and reckless and self-destructive. You enlist an old college boyfriend to take the place of your ex-husband. You go to Madison Square Garden and watch Joni and Dylan take turns on the stage, and then you take chances afterward. You know before you know that this is not good. November 12th, 1998. You are so sure it's not possible, you buy a test from Walgreens on your way to the gym and pee in the women's locker room bathroom. It turns positive right away, and you sit there on the toilet, the test in your hand, pants around your ankles, long after you finish peeing. November 14th, 1998. Your shrink refers you to a doctor who confirms what is inside. It looks viable and strong, but you are not. You make another appointment. November 19th, 1998. You go back to the doctor, and he does what doctors do. Later that evening, you are empty and sore, but go on a secret date with a boy you met online. You are sitting across from him in a sexy dress, still bleeding, and you tell him you like gardening. The next day, he sends you flowers with a card that reads, "My idea of gardening." You are enamored, but it doesn't last long. October 31st, 1999. You are 38 years old. You are celebrating an office move with your business partners, and you are drinking champagne when you gush. Thinking back on it later, you realize it was probably one of the last times you ovulated. You find it odd that this is something that you would remember with such clarity. November 24th, 2001. You are 40 years old. You are unhappy at work and decide to try to have a baby with the college boyfriend who took the place of your second ex-husband. What was so easy last time is much harder now, and you wonder if you are damaged. You keep trying. June 10th, 2002. Now, everything is being measured. There are charts and numbers and appointments and blood draws. There is somber talk about cycles and scores and probability. The boyfriend feels optimistic. But you have now lived long enough to distrust optimism. But you follow the protocol and you inject yourself as instructed. And then, for a moment, there's optimism. Week 11. On the walk to the check-in with your doctor, you see a dead squirrel in the street. It has been flattened and there is a lot of blood. You see it has a crushed eye. No one has told you yet, but in that moment you know. Again. Then there is efficiency and procedure. You're lying on your back very still. The paper beneath you makes no noise. You give up. March 20th, 2008. You are 46 years old. There is no warning, no encore event. You thought it would be more dramatic, kind of final reckoning, but there's none. What surprises you most is this. Nothing is being asked of you anymore. You realize you have spent most of your life preparing for something, watching your body and trying to understand it, trying to stay ahead of it. Now, there is nothing more to track. It is April 30th, 2026. You are 64 years old. You remember when you were 11, you had a squared up newspaper article under your mattress. It felt like something that could hold you up, like a second spine. You realize now that you've been building that spine your whole life, out of vigilance, out of patterns, out of trying to white knuckle what might happen next. Now, there's nothing under the bed. Your body is quiet. For the first time, you're not preparing for what you might do next. You are safe, and you are strong, and you are relieved.
tending to me, unseen and unheard, like a well-behaved child, nicely tucked into all my cells. Curls, pretty tresses, clear skin, freckles. SD, you who gave me power to spring and bleed and curse, to think and dream, to touch and feel, to drip and drool, to feel the touch of the cool, sweet hand of my lover, blood and bones, brain bursting. You, who made me a mother, fucker! Where are you now? I birthed and nursed and dreamed and bled. Bleached myself without knowing that one day way too soon you too would leave, as they are doing. Spotted, reappearing sometimes unexpectedly. Estradiol became my friend. After the fog and the slow retreat of the blood and the bones and the skin, the arid crinkle, freckles turned to spots. Spotting gone, unstuck. I was reminded of my unsung friend. Loved round patch of sweet relief sticks to me. and I to it. But wait, a new best friend, a gel that saves me from this living hell of forgotten words and faces and names that came and went just as soon. Literal strength in my strength and clarity of wants and needs. A tenth of what he needs. Testosterone just stole my heart.
I'm 8.5 years old, and my period started. What do you mean your period started? A real girl's period starts when she's 9. I'm 15 years old. One armpit is growing no hair, and this armpit is growing all of the hair. Oh my God, that is not the rules of a girl. You're supposed to be smooth and even. I'm 46 years old. Why did you stop? It hurt. Fucking is supposed to feel good. God. Why didn't you do something interesting with the sex abuse? Like, I don't know, become an athletic pole dancer? You're not straight enough. Yeah, well, I'm not straight. Yeah, well, you're not gay enough either, are you? I'm nowish years of age. And at this nowish age, my period goes wonky. I've hit the peri part of the pause of the meno, which means it is time for a great adventure. It is. And this is what the adventure is like, okay? I imagine a, like wizened medieval woman with a really drippy camera, and she's going through a cave. And she cross-references a dusty tome that she finds in the cave with a scroll she got from a dragon, because that is a little bit of what it's like to do research about your own health as a modern female. So I'm doing all this research, and I realize that I'm gonna have to go back to the gynecologist. But I don't want to go back, says my inner 19-year-old. I already went last year, and then I hear that voice again. Oh my God. You know, most girls go to the gyno, it's no big deal. God. And I look at all my ages, all my girls, being called out again about their period being weird, their body being weird, whatever it is that doesn't make them girl enough. And I say to that voice in my head, yeah, you know, but I rode a Pegasus and touched the sun. What? That is what going to the gynecologist is like. It's a brave and sacred and noble event. I allow a touch, more than a touch, a full-blown fish around in there. And you know what? It is scary to ride a Pegasus and touch the sun, especially in these times of tyranny. Oh my God, calm down. Tyranny, please. Don't act like we're small down there. Don't act like it's this whole universe that the gynecologist gets into. Okay, universe, whatever, it's only as big as a pear or some other kind of fruit. Yeah, but one touchdown here and it feels huge, you know that. Okay, you're magic, blah, 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 great. Do you know that Ivanka Trump is very pretty? Sorry, what? I'm just telling you that Ivanka Trump is very pretty and smart, and men will protect her. Don't question me. Question who? What part of me is you, this voice? Like, what age, what part of me is this? Okay, cue the fucking lute music. Welcome to the Lilith Fair. You're not me. No, of course not you. If I wasn't in here, it'd just be you and all of your ages, but since you hit the peri part of the pause of the meno, you're starting to differentiate me from yourself. And you are... What? I am your male gaze glasses, babe. I keep you from being too ew. Hey, that rhymed. Wait, so you're like some inner patriarchal, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna explain it. You know how Shaka Khan can sing, I'm every woman? It's like that, but like, I can be like your inner Pete Hegseth, I can be your inner Ezra Klein, but I like to mix it up a lot so you don't get a beat on me. But since you've hit the Perry part of the Paws of the Meadow, you're trying to take me off, and babe, you don't want to do that. Right, because you protect me and help me survive. No, ew, I'm not doing that. I'm wasting your time. See, because that uterus universe is calling you. She's always calling you. And you're just welcoming. It doesn't matter if you were born with an actual uterus. And you know what happens? If you heed that call, you'll just be thriving, spending your whole life in lady space, unbothered by age or the size of your ankles. Yeah, I feel like I can almost see it and feel it. Wait. Hey, important stuff. Are you slouching? Do you know how to say spell the word friends yet? I don't even know if you know how to say it. Lube is for losers, you stupid bitch. If you're hyper-focused on what I'm saying, then you might hear the whole universe inside of me. Yeah, but who's gonna tell 63-year-old Kirsten it's too late to expand? Who's gonna tell 8-year-old Kirsten it's too early? Simmer down, grow up, little girl, old lady, your best is over. How can you be you without me reminding me how ill you are? Get out of my body! You hate men. No. I hate your opinion inside of me. There is no male equivalent to what's happening. There's no female gaze glasses on the collective masculine asking you, I don't know, how come your frenulum isn't symmetrical? Leave the inside of me to me and all the ages of me climb into this nowish age me, and we knock the male gaze glasses off of our body, and we can see clearly. That's what it's like. Without distraction. And we know that life is a great adventure. And we can see clearly with just the inner council of us girls. And we're just in the uterus universe, so there's so much space for my sweet little body that is mine. And I get to bring it into alignment through radical responsibility and kindness. I can teeter my own totter like that, and I can find other feminine bet creatures with their own uterus universes, hello beauties. And we can remind each other that we can trust our vision. And my little 8.5-year-old self through period, and my 15-year-old self, and my every age. Oh, my darlings, I've got my eye on you now. I see what happened. And at this nowish age me, I can move back and forward in time to those ages. I can leave a helpful book, the shade of a tree, a pump jar of lube, and 3 vibrators by a bed. I've got you, because all of you are real girls. And all of my ages are real girls. And they tend to each other with the wisdom or the freshness that other ages might need, because who I am is all of me that came before and all of me that's coming next. And I get to use all of that to fuck and move and sing and write and cry and mother and march and remind myself on the daily to knock those male gaze glasses off my head. And that is a big deal. No, it's not. If it wasn't such a big deal, they wouldn't be trying so hard to get back on us. Because they keep trying. But at this nowish age, when I do hear him scream that my boundary settings make me shrill, or my earnestness makes me gross, or women my age shouldn't use shoelaces as hair accessories, one of my Kirstens will look up from her glorious world building This time it's my reparented 12-year-old. Get him square in the eye with that, "Hey man, get out of my government and get back to our good trouble." Like my 83-year-old mom at the last march.
New York was my first love. My husband was my second. We decided to get married just 3 weeks after we met. We're both like, wow, that was really fast, you know? My brother was walking me down the aisle, and he said, you know, you could pull a graduate, there's still time, turn around, do it, run. So I've been married 54 years. Oh, and my husband is so good to me. But oh my God, I did not want to leave New York. But he was a professor at Cal Poly, so what are you going to do? So some years after we left New York, we were living in San Luis Obispo. And one day, I will never forget this, I was driving and smoking, trying to light a cigarette at the same time. Yeah, I like to smoke in the car because I didn't have to deal with anyone, so I was always going to the market or someplace like that so I could smoke. Anyway, so I'm driving up this hill, and then suddenly the light at the top of the hill turned red. I said to myself, I can't fucking believe this now. And I burst into tears. Oh, I mean, it's the most absurd thing ever. I was crying and driving, and instead of going home, I turned left and I went right to my doctor's office. I went in and they said, "What are you doing here? You don't have an appointment." And I'm like, "I have to see Barbara right away." Oh, I was hysterical. So they said, "Oh my God, okay, go in." So I go in and I see Barbara, and she said, "What? What's wrong?" And all I said was, "The light turned red." And she said, "Oh my God, you're going through menopause. You're probably going back at menopause right back there in that light." I said, "Then, now, at that light, I can't." Oh, it felt too early. I mean, I never had that conversation with my mother. She never talked about, you know, the change. Oh my God, remember our periods? Even then, remember Kotex? We had to put them on ourselves, teach ourselves in that awful, awful belt. Oh, I got my period when I was 13. My mother comes home and I'm like, "Mom, I got my period," and she slaps me across the face. That didn't happen to you? Jewish mothers, that's what you do. It's like, "Congratulations, mazel tov," whack. Oh boy, so as a young mother, I didn't really want a lot of sex. So I would just lie and pretend to be having my period for a very extended amount of time. I would go into the bathroom and pretend to be ripping the paper off the back of a pad, and I'd yell into my husband, "Oh, this period, I can't believe how long it's lasted." And then he would go to sleep, and then I'd be the happiest person in the world. So, I was very surprised to find this sexual freedom when I hit menopause. I mean, it was like sexual freedom all over the place, anytime, anywhere. When we were younger, we were so worried about birth control. And my husband with the whole condom thing, ugh. I'm lazy. I don't like to have to prepare. So yeah, so for me and my husband, we're loving it. I mean, I'm going like this is really cool. We're in our 80s, and we're like, this is very freaking cool.
I have spent a lifetime being brave and resilient in the face of mortal peril. From coarse vending machine cardboard tampons to the rough fingers of careless young lovers, to the indignities of cold speculums. And then, the real cherry on top, I pushed out 3 babies into the world. Yeah, I did that. Me. I will now hold for applause. Thank you. Hey, Caroline, did you know that the Vagina Monologues premiered right here in this very theater? Yeah, it's true. Us vaginas, we're big fans. So, yeah, I mean, this is like a pretty vagina-friendly space, right? I've been thinking about something. I just think it's time to, I want to just, hey, can you just put this whole thing away? Just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, hey, we're striking it, people. Hey, Johnny, we're striking it. Get rid of it. What are you still doing here? Just get rid of it. Go. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hi there. Woo, it feels so good out here. Now I guess I should introduce her. That's Caroline. And I'm Caroline's vagina. Her vulva, her bits, her whole shebang. You get it? I'm here today because there's been a whole lot of talk about us vaginas, and I thought you'd like to actually hear from one. Yeah. So, when I was pushing that first baby out of Atlantic Hill Hospital, I stretched and expanded, and I got the job done. I did the best I could, but even so, I admit I did tear a little. I ripped. I was inexperienced. Give me a break. Right there in the delivery room, before I even had a chance to catch my breath, the doctor stitched me up, and then he stitched me up some more. Too much. He looked up from me to Caroline and said, "I gave you a husband stitch." She was still delirious and had no clue what he was talking about. She had never heard of such a thing and hadn't been given the choice or her consent. But I knew exactly what he had done to me, and boy, was I pissed! It's hard not to be an angry vagina in this world, let me tell you. But now she's getting angry too. It's about time. But us vaginas, oh, we do take pride in being strong and flexible and resilient. And while I did not forgive and forget, I did move on. Listen, between you and me, I find it hilarious that these humans refer to being tough and brave as having balls. Ha! What's more tender and fragile than a soft, dangly testicle? Nothing. I digress. Today I stand before you, a 47-year-old vagina. It's kind of like counting in dog years. In vagina years, that's a ripe old age. For Caroline, 47 is smack dab in the middle of what you call perimenopause. That means her monthlies are now like her, whatever the fucks. It's what Dr. Mary Claire Haver calls the zone of chaos. Yeah. Well, hey, it's Julie up there. Could you pull up that screenshot that Caroline took? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so see all those highlighted lines? Those are all the times I'm bleeding. Yeah, in this case, it was 21 out of 35 days. Oh, and each one of those comes with its own little PMS beforehand. So Caroline, lately, has either been crying or bleeding, or sometimes both. She's been told this is common but not normal, and is not quite sure what to do with that information. A few years ago, Caroline had all sorts of unpleasantness. You know, migraines every month, crying all the time, flashes of intense rage, which scared her and her very nice husband. But then she got the patch. Yeah, you know, the patch. And, she gives me personally a little white pill twice a week called vaginal estradiol. Good stuff. Yeah. So after that, she felt a lot better, and she thought that she just had it all figured out. Yeah. Until a couple of months ago, she found herself sitting at a Brandi Carlile concert. Oh yes, vaginas love her very much. There she was, sitting in the dark, crying, and then she was sobbing, and the kind of sobbing with the snaps and the hiccups, and she thought to herself, oh, this is strange, I thought I'd fix this. And if I may chime in from my perspective, things have never been drier. Heavens to Betsy, my lips are parched. Does anyone have any chapstick? Oh, you do? See me after the show, okay? Listen, I've taken up enough of your time. I am not used to all this attention these days, and I can tell Caroline's ticked off I've been out here flapping my lips at ya. But I just want to say, to all my fellow vaginas out there, and it looks like there's a lot of you, no matter who you are or where you come from, it's pretty much guaranteed you've been through it. But you're here today. Look at you. Old or young, lively or tired, moist or dry. You are damn strong and resilient and